Greetings and good evening, one and all. I am Dr. Wolf, and after a very long and exhausting weekend at Everfree Northwest, I thought I'd give you an update on some of the activities I went through while I was there. It was a ton of fun being with both my brother Tarek and fellow reviewer Josh Scorcher and meeting up with KP and some of the show staff. You've already heard my story about what I did with John Delancey. And quite frankly, for anyone who hasn't, please look that video up because after being with him for an hour and a half or so, I gotta have more respect for what the guy's gone through in his lifetime. But I wanted to talk to you about a few souvenirs I got coming home from Everfree Northwest and even a couple of other stories. First off, little things, little trinkets that people gave me, like this. I have my own boulder now. This little boulder that someone was handing out to everybody who came to his panel. I think that's rather nice. I have my own little boulder just like Maud does. And on top of that, I got some nice little artwork from one of my previous artists by the name of Talons of Ice and Fire, especially like Dr. Wolf being right in the middle of all this insanity of all the other reviewers. That's something that's definitely going to stay in my office. Something a little more extensive is, as I was going through the vendor hall, one of the artists hands me this, a framed piece of Dr. Wolf fan art. And quite frankly, I think that's fantastic. This is something definitely going to have to hang up on my wall somewhere. And this is another little interesting thing. Just like with the John Delancey panel that someone had handed me a ticket to, just out of the blue, one of my fans wanted me to go and be there, and I was really grateful for it. Another fan handed me this, which is Breakfast with Celestia, or more specifically, Breakfast with Nicole Oliver, the voice of Celestia. And I was amazed at how much my fans wanted to give me in order to do all these different things at Everfree Northwest. And this particular breakfast had something like maybe 20 or 25 people, and we were all outside, just outside the breakfast area of this very fancy hotel, the Hilton. And Nicole came out and visited every single one of us. There were like 4 different tables, and she sat at every table for about 10 minutes and then moved to another table and was talking with everybody there and asking what we were doing and what kind of career we were trying to work towards, and whether we had been to any conventions before. And she even talked a lot about her own family because her husband is also in the business along with both of her sons who are doing voice acting gigs. And quite frankly, I didn't know that about Nicole before. You learn something new every day. I even had a picture taken with her, which I will definitely be showing here. And yeah, it was a lot of fun sitting at this really nice breakfast with one of the VAs from the show and learning more about what they go through and perhaps someday what I might be able to get into myself. I know I've talked a lot about trying to get into professional voice acting, and maybe one of these years it'll happen, but I know that I'm still very much an amateur. Very much an amateur. Even 2 years of experience making videos on YouTube, I'm nowhere close to professional level. I know I've got a lot more to learn. Quite frankly, Everfree Northwest is still something that's going to stay in my mind for a very long time yet. I met with a ton of fans. It was the first time I was ever a community guest for anything. And it was really different having time set aside in the official Everfree Northwest schedule that we were supposed to meet somewhere and actually sign autographs for those who were looking for them. And Josh Scorcher and I showed up right outside the vendor hall right after one of Josh's panels where he he did a riff of the 1980s My Little Pony movie. And I hope I get to see that because he had a lot of really clever lines here and there. I was at the very front of that audience during that panel, and he was actually using this computer, I have to say, because the other computer he was supposed to be using didn't show up. So I'm glad I was able to help him out for that. And there's a couple other things that we did together that I'm hoping will be posted on one of our channels, but I'll let you wait and see. And other than that, I am most certainly looking forward to many more conventions this year. First up, we have the Crystal Mountain Pony Con in July. That's going to be in Salt Lake City. And then the big one, BronyCon, in early August, Baltimore. That's going to have over 10,000 attendees, or at least it did have over 10,000 attendees last year. So I've got a lot to look forward to for this. And yeah, it's still something I'm getting used to, going to all these different conventions. It really is. But I'm having a lot of fun with them. I do feel overwhelmed by the massive crowds and even some of the massive noise, but I'm getting used to it. I'm overcoming those struggles, overcoming those hesitations, little baby steps at a time, as Fluttershy puts it. I do hope that I get to meet more of my fans in the future, and once again, I have to give huge thanks to everyone who has supported both me and my artists, and yeah, I've got many more videos yet to come, and as per usual, I would love to hear from each of you about what conventions you've gone to and whether all the videos I put together, the vlogs on Everfree Northwest, has changed your mind about attending any future conventions in your local area. And as per usual, I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.